Hi, this is Debbie Burnt, and I am here with the fabulous and amazing Dr. Robert Maldonado,
Well, thank you.
and we are with Creative Love, and welcome to the 3-video series, How to Find Your True Love Without Any Dating Tips. How about that?
Quite a feat.
Quite a feat. It's not actually that hard. It's actually easier when you're not listening to all those conflicting advice out there about how to behave and how to act. And we hope with the next 3 videos, you're going to be clear on who you are and how you need to shift inside so you can attract the love of your life. Sound good? Good plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So here's video number 1, and what we're going to talk about here is revealing your love mask. And as you know, Dr. Carl Jung, who came up with the term the mask and the persona, this information is really, really valuable for single people and anyone in a relationship because it really is basically the entry point to how we meet people.
Absolutely.
So the persona, what is it and why do we need it? And how do we use it?
Yes, in 10 words or less.
In 10 words or less.
Okay. Well, the persona, we can think about it as a mask that we wear, right? We can also think about it as our uniform.
That's a good
What is the presentation and our presentation to the world?
Just like when we wouldn't go out naked in public, we wear clothes. So the persona is basically that psychological clothes that we wear.
That's right. And it's useful to think of it as a role. Like actors play a role. They're given a script. And the persona essentially is the character that we're playing in life.
And, when I was single, a lot of the dating tips told you how to behave and really how to create a character or a persona that people will be more attracted to. So every book you read, the rules and all those other books that tell you, how to get someone to fall in love with you, it's all about how to change your persona so you can attract another persona. And the persona really is just the tip of who we are. And how do we have a persona? How did that really get created in us?
As children, we're born it's not a blank slate, right? But we have to develop our personality gradually, and we do it through adapting to the situations in our life. First of all, our family, then the school situations, our peers, and then later on, of course, the bigger social settings. And we wear this persona, this character, and we play this character in order to facilitate that interaction. And
so in junior high, you had the jocks and the burnouts. You had the they call them like the winos, the people that would drink, and then the cheerleader, and then the brain. And so we have all those characters. And that movie, The Breakfast Club, really showed that all those personas that people had, and the misunderstanding of who that person was beyond the mask. And you know what a lot of people really believe is that that's all there is to them, is this character they play.
Yeah, and Jung warns that that's a difficult situation for people to be in, that when they believe and they identify so strongly with their persona, their mask, then when that persona is threatened somehow, they really feel threatened, right? Because that's all they believe they are. So in his model, he stipulates that there is much more to our psychological makeup than just this persona.
And we're going to talk about that in the next few videos, but really quick on the persona. When I was younger, I read all those books, and I was trying to find a man, trying to get married, and I had a beach house. And I remember one of the girls telling me, one of my friends, she said, it's really interesting. She said, you act like this fun girl that doesn't want a commitment, and then I get to know you, and you're really sweet, and you're down to earth, and you really want a relationship. Why don't you act that way around the men? And I said, well, I was told that men don't want a commitment. So I created this persona of Fun Debbie. And she said, but all you're attracting are fun guys that don't want a commitment. And the nice guys are actually passing you by because they don't see you, who you really are. And that was really my first experience of working with the persona. And what's really interesting too about the persona, what you said is that if you identify with it, when someone breaks up with you, when someone, even online, you put your picture up and no one's responding, they're responding to your persona, the face, the description of your personality, and all your list of, qualifications, basically. They're not really rejecting you. And a lot of times people take it so personally when someone goes on a date and you're bringing your representative and it might not match up, and we get so hurt. So when you identify with that, this is all who you are, is this personality, you can really feel insecure in the world.
Absolutely. And you do take it personally because it feels like you're being threatened or rejected.
Yeah. And you see this happen even with celebrities. They get so attached to their celebrity persona, and when they lose everything, like those childhood celebrities, the kids that played those roles on TV and they made lots of money, and then they start growing up out of that role and they don't get the roles anymore, and then they're working at McDonald's, and that persona falls apart, and they just feel so bad about themselves because they're so invested in the celebrity persona, and they never really looked into who they really are, almost as if they're nothing without that persona. Another persona that I can think of real quick is the persona of being someone's wife or someone's partner. And when you get divorced, and I know a lot of you that watch these videos, have been married before, you are with this person for a long time, you become like Joe's wife or Jane's husband, and then when that role falls apart, you question, like, who am I? And when you break up with someone too, even just being a partner.
Yeah, you have to essentially adopt another persona, and it's a process.
And so the persona is very limiting, and it's also based on the ego, which feels like it's separate from everything else. And so in the next video, what we're going to do is talk about the backstory that you mentioned before we started filming. You said, when an actor takes on a role, they get to know the character's backstory. And so your backstory is really helping drive the persona. And if you can find out what that is, it's going to free you from being so attached to it and create and become your true self. So we're really excited. We'll see you on video 2. And for homework, why don't you think about who you think you are? What is the persona that you've been putting on for love? Define your love persona, and you could, quite frankly, just look at your online profile and it's right there.
That's right. It's those qualities that we value and we choose as our own.
And we feel like other people will approve of, the things that are acceptable. And then the things that we hide are basically part of us that we know of that are not shown in the persona, because we feel like, I don't know if I should show that part. So, and that really, really affects how we relate. And if we're only matching up on that persona level, that's where you feel like there really isn't that deep connection, and love doesn't seem to last. And we want you to have love that lasts. So tune in for video 2, and we'll see you then.
We'll see you soon.